Model Chrissy Teigen recently made her first public appearance since her pregnancy loss in September. You may recall how millions watched on social media as Teigen and her husband, musician John Legend, mourned the death of their son Jack, who was stillborn. It drew attention to something that we rarely talk about, but happens more often than you know. The CDC reports 1 in 4 pregnancies ends in loss every year. NewsCenter Maine's Vivian Lee, who has experienced this same heartbreaking journey, is here with a special report tonight. Viv.
Cindy, you may recall as well, my oldest son Jacob's brother, his twin brother rather, died 18 hours after he was born. Jared was diagnosed with a rare and very complex medical condition in the womb, and his death was beyond devastating. Now, I sat down with several families who hope by opening up about the babies they lost will bring healing and break our long-standing culture of silence.
Nick and Nicole Bowie Haskell were excited about adding a baby boy to their family, which included 7-year-old Jenna and 8-year-old Jack. But a 13-week ultrasound revealed a condition called hydrops, fluid built up in a baby's tissues and organs. Only half of the babies survive after birth, and the couple were advised to consider ending the pregnancy.
We weren't willing to do that, so we wanted to have faith that it would be okay, and so we went back at 18 weeks and the hydrops were gone.
Tests later revealed their son Charlie had Down syndrome but was developing normally. After a scan showed an enlarged liver, Nicole underwent an emergency C-section at 35 weeks. Charlie was diagnosed with a condition known as TMD. Similar to leukemia, it results in the rapid growth of abnormal white cells. Charlie was given a 30% chance of survival and underwent chemotherapy. Jack and Jenna, though, were able to see him at the hospital. But a little more than 2 weeks after his birth, Charlie's organs started shutting down. Family members said a heart-wrenching goodbye after deciding to take him off life support.
He opened his eyes and he blinked 3 times, and then he shut his eyes. And I just knew. I just felt like I knew it was time.
Every loss is different, and we were fortunate enough to have 17 days with Charlie.
Family, friends, and co-workers wrapped their arms around the family. The couple attended infant and pregnancy loss support group meetings and grief counseling, but openly talking about Charlie was difficult because there's often a stigma attached to losing a baby.
People just are like, oh, sorry, you know, like, and I don't want anyone to apologize to me for Charlie. You know, he was our son, he passed away, we honor him every single day.
When you start talking about these things, it can start to feel isolating, where you don't necessarily on the same page with everyone on these subjects, and that's tough.
It's a taboo topic, but it shouldn't be. It's a loss that we've experienced, just like if an adult died.
An unforeseen complication in the 3rd trimester led to the loss of Butler Carmichael's son, Mitchell. Doctors said it was due to a placenta abruption when the placenta separates from the inner wall of the uterus before birth.
We don't really know what caused it to happen.
After a scan showed no brain activity, Mitchell lived for 27 hours. Butler's daughters, Stone and Reed, just 4 and 3 at the time, were also able to spend time with Mitchell in the NICU.
You hold them, you sing to them, you kiss them, all the things that you want to do to your new baby.
Butler and Mitchell's father received incredible support from their family and their community, and they leaned on other parents who had gone through pregnancy loss to process heartbreaking and exhausting emotions. A few years later, Mitchell's memory gave Butler the courage to beat colon cancer, and Butler's family celebrates Mitchell's birthday each year to honor his life.
It's a child that I feel like I should be raising a little boy right now, a 16-year-old boy.
At Mount Hope Cemetery in Bangor, metal butterfly plaques with names and birth dates adorn these granite pillars, a special place to remember babies that live on in the hearts of parents and loved ones.
All of them have left the hospital without a baby in their arms.
The memorial was created by Empty Arms of Greater Bangor, a group of dedicated volunteers who have lost babies as well. They organize funeral arrangements, hold remembrance walks for those who've experienced pregnancy and infant loss, and monthly support group meetings.
It's so isolating, but we're here, and We want to help.
Amy Gerby's daughter Sophie was stillborn in the 3rd trimester when death happens in utero. Besides Sophie, scans didn't detect in the early stages that there was also a molar pregnancy when a non-viable fertilized egg implants in the uterus but doesn't come to term. That produced very high hormones normally measured in a routine pregnancy test, which became a very toxic environment for both Amy and her unborn child.
My kidney function, liver function, blah, 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 I was already shutting down.
With 2 little girls, Erin and Megan, at home, Amy struggled to heal physically and emotionally. By chance, though, she was able to attend an Empty Arms support group in Western Massachusetts for parents who were also going through similar heartbreak.
I could say her name and not have people be uncomfortable and running away.
Amy founded the Empty Arms support group in Maine in 2007. Volunteers offer comfort through shared loss to parents who lose a baby at the hospital. The nonprofit puts together these comfort boxes for moms to take with them when they go home. The group also educates medical staff about learning a patient's medical history, especially if they've gone through loss beforehand. Amy then suffered 2 miscarriages following Sophie, but went on to have 2 more healthy children, Evan and Jordan. The family celebrates Sophie's birthday every year and remembers her life through random acts of kindness.
I know Charlie was given to us for a reason.
As for Nick and Nicole, 8 years later, the couple now has 2 more boys, Henry and Hudson. The family also takes trips during the holidays around the time when Charlie was born and left this earth. Another key part of their healing journey, talking about the baby they lost too soon.
We have 3 children, and that was a huge step in shaping the loss. It counts, and it matters. And now we're saying we have
5.
5 children.
Now, Charlie's family tells me research on their son's death helped doctors save the life of another baby with that same rare medical condition. And we'll have more information on resources for families experiencing and dealing with pregnancy and infant loss on our website and social media app. Cindy?
Vivian, thank you so much for sharing.
And we'll be right back.